Robertson strangely secretive about what we were to see at the top of the buried pyramid. He wanted to surprise us, and as it turned out, he succeeded. It was a frightening climb at a dizzy angle. The steep, shallow steps were negotiated, no doubt, more readily by the bare feet of the ancient Indians of Mexico than by our modern shoes. The tunnel staircase was dark, the stones smooth and slippery. A misstep could have led to a fearful, perhaps fatal accident. Professor Stoner led the way, enjoying in advance the shock that awaited us. I did not sense in his attitude any hint of what was perhaps already germinating in his brilliant mind. For in spite of the fame won by his archaeological discoveries in the rich soil of Mexico, he'd remained simple, gentle, and lovable, his charm unspoiled by an erudition that ranged over the whole field of human knowledge. The strain of mysticism in his thinking seemed a natural expression of his bold and original intellect. I had a vast admiration for him.
29, 30, 31. We're halfway up. There are 62 steps in all.
How many on the outer pyramid?
95.
Well, how on earth did you...
We dug down through the floor of the outer temple until we found the inner chamber, and we tunneled up from below to reach it.
What a job.
It was harder than walking up with a flashlight.
Well, what are we going to see? Is the climb worth it?
You'll have to decide that for yourself. Some of my colleagues consider it the most startling discovery in the whole of Mexican archaeology.
I hope I'm not so startled I fall down these steps.
You'll survive, I think.
You all right, Juanita? You're not scared?
No.
I suppose your father told you what you'd see.
I asked him not to. I wanted it to be a surprise.
He didn't tell me.
Want to rest a minute?
Oh, brother.
Don't look down. It's the worst thing you can possibly do. Keep your eye...
All right, you are.
Just keep your eye on the step you're taking. We're nearly there. You ready?
This better be good.
Can I give you something to write about? Was it worth the trip from Mexico City? What is it? It's not alive, Juanita. It can't eat you. Juanita! Juanita!
jaguar in the very temple. It scared her so she ran down. It's a miracle she didn't break her neck.
I should have warned her. I never dreamed it would frighten her so.
Well, it's pretty ferocious when you come on it unexpectedly.
Left this behind.
Thank you.
I'm afraid this torch is finished. You'd have heard it bouncing down the stairs.
We ought to have told her what to expect.
I had no idea she'd be so frightened. If you're so scared of a stone jaguar, Juanita, what on earth would you do if you met a live one?
Don't speak of it.
Are you better now?
I don't know why it frightened me so.
The blue of the temple wall has come off on your dress. It was a mortal color to your ancestors. They painted their sacrifices blue.
Oh, two grown men playing such tricks on a young girl. Of course you were frightened, darling. Who wouldn't be?
I'm just going to take a look at the new trench. I shan't be long.
What you need is a bowl of good hot soup.
According to my wife, there's no situation that can't be remedied by a bowl of hot soup.
Well, I can do with one myself.
I'll join you in a moment. Your soup is good medicine, Elena.
Now I recognize the girl I used to know.
Terry thinks I'm still 8 years old. I'm a grown woman now, Terry.
You may be a woman, but you're no lady. Ladies don't sit on gentlemen's laps.
At least not in public.
May I in private?
I'll spank you, you trollop.
Will you, Terry?
If he doesn't, I will.
Do you mind cleaning this stone, Manuel? I think we ought to have a look at it.
Give me a kiss, Elena, darling.
I kiss you later when you're cleaner. Behave yourself, Alfred.
You've recovered, Juanita.
Quite.
You'd hardly think that half an hour ago she was running for her life from a stone idol. What do you think, Manuel? How do you explain your daughter's reaction to our jaguar?
It's a ferocious-looking object. Ugly as old sin, and it scared her.
You're wrong, Manuel. It's not ugly, it's beautiful. As powerful things are. But even if you're right, that's hardly an adequate explanation.
How's your domino game, Juanita? Has it improved since you were 8?
I ought to help Elena.
Nonsense. It's your vacation. You're here to enjoy yourself.
You have a theory about Juanita and the jaguar?
Yes, Manuel. But you wouldn't agree with it. It's not scientific.
Your theories rarely are, Alfred.
Girls of her age were sacrificed to the jaguar god on the top of that pyramid 10 centuries ago. They were painted blue for the occasion, and the priests cut them open with an obsidian knife and tore the living heart out of them as an offering to the idol.
You don't have to be so bloodthirsty about it.
Alfred's naturally bloodthirsty. Human sacrifice is his subject. It's food and drink to him.
It was food to the ancients, too. They ate the bodies after the ritual. The chief got the thigh bone.
It's incredible that a culture so advanced could have been so cruel.
Well, our culture, Terry. Doesn't it present the same paradox? Beauty and cruelty, the saintly and the diabolic, the dreadful coexistence of all times and all cultures. Considering her ancestry, Juanita may have a racial memory of such ancient sacrifices.
That sounds plausible.
But not demonstrable, and therefore of no interest to a scientist.
What do you think, Juanita? Does it correspond at all to what you felt when you saw the jaguar?
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
The jaguar cult is the oldest and most persistent in Mexico. To this day, the Indian mothers make their children behave by telling them the jaguar will get them, just as we threaten ours with a bogeyman. Juanita's mother, God rest her sweet soul, may have tried to discipline her in the same way. Do you recall anything like that, Juanita?
I don't believe so.
She was only an infant, of course, and wouldn't remember. But the fear may have lingered in her subconscious mind.
That's possible, certainly.
My wife was too intelligent to frighten Juanita with silly superstitions.
Superstition is the name that science gives to truth.
May I quote that?
If that appears in Time magazine, the whole archaeological fraternity will descend on my shoulders. But quote me if you like.
Don't, Terry. He doesn't mean it.
But I do. How do you suppose I found the buried pyramid in the temple with a jaguar in it?
How did you?
By believing in what Manuel calls superstition. I heard the Indian mothers threaten their children with a jaguar in the hill, and I took them at their word. I dug into it, and there, by all the gods of the Mayan calendar, was the jaguar himself in the buried pyramid.
It was brilliant of you, Alfred. No one will deny that.
The Indians believe there's a living god in that stone idol, and who are we to say they're wrong? Don't scoff, Manuel. The legends abound in such divine petrifactions, from the Atlas Mountains to Popocatépetl. I'm ready to believe that Juanita, with the second sight of her ancestors, could see the living demon in the stone. And what she saw was far more terrifying than the sculpture we see with our more limited vision. She saw him there, the jaguar god incarnate, and she trembled with terror and ran for her life.
Heaven preserve us.
Is he serious, Manuel?
You could never be sure with Alfred. He enjoys being provocative. I'm not impressed by your incarnate jaguar, and I don't need him to explain why Juanita was frightened.
You should have more respect for the jaguar, Manuel. We're surrounded by jaguars. You've counted 28 of them in the Temple of the Tigers. They may hear you and be angry. The jaguar's a powerful demon. Can exact a ghastly vengeance.
I'll take my chances with the ancient beast. Take a look at this stone, Alfred. There's something on it, but it's worn so thin I can't make it out.
The tortilla is the latest tool of the archaeologist. It's a jaguar, of course.
I'm afraid I've lost my skill at dominoes. Have I the scientist's permission to take his daughter to the fiesta in the hacienda tomorrow?
Oh, yes, Terry, yes.
Take her, Terry. We'll clear her mind of this gruesome nonsense. As for your jaguar, Alfred, here's what I think of him.
You may have some trouble digesting that.
Don't be too late, darling.
I won't.
right now?
I think so.
You see how alive he is, our old jaguar.
Have you had enough fiesta?
After 400 years of Christian teaching, the god of the jaguar is the festival of St. Francis. But Juanita, those dancers weren't ferocious. Why were you so frightened of them?
I can't imagine. We were having such fun. Forgive me, Terry.
Well, I've had a wonderful time.
There's something about Juanita and the jaguar. I'm sure of it. Something ancient and mysterious.
If there is, it's because you put the stuff of nightmares in her head.
It is strange, Terry. I'm not usually frightened so easily. There is something.
I don't believe it. When you're back in school, you'll laugh about it.
I laugh now.
Well, that's better.
Look, isn't he adorable? Terry.
Juanita.
Yes.
Turn your back.
You shouldn't sleep naked, Terry. Mosquitoes, ticks, tarantulas.
Safe enough with the netting. Now, what on earth are you doing here at this time of night? In your nightgown and bare feet. And the ground alive with scorpions. Suppose you stepped on one.
All right, you can look now.
I couldn't sleep. I had to talk to you.
Well, what have you to talk about that couldn't wait until morning? Here, put these on.
It's about us. You and me.
Well, what is there about you and me that calls for discussion in the middle of the night?
Do you think I'm pretty, Terry?
Certainly not.
I'm very pretty. Everyone says so.
Your ears are too big, your eyes are too small, your nose is crooked, you got barbed wire on your head instead of hair. Shall I go on?
You think of me as a child, but I'm not. Look.
You ought to be slapped.
Do it, Terry, if you like.
What's come over you, Juanita?
I love you. I love you so terribly, I ache with it. Now, do you believe I'm grown up? You're angry because you love me. If you didn't love me, you wouldn't be angry.
You have an adolescent infatuation and you think it's love. You'll grow out of it.
I have loved you since I was 8, and I will love you till I'm 80. I think you love me too. Only you won't admit it.
A Mexican girl of good family coming to a man's room in the middle of the night in her nightgown. It's inconceivable. What do you suppose your father would do if he found you here like this? Here, put this on.
I'm not cold.
I'm not thinking of the temperature. I've got to keep you decent. Someone's coming.
Are you awake, Terry?
Come in, Manuel.
I couldn't sleep. I saw your light. Thought we might talk.
Of course.
You don't mind? I'm not disturbing you?
Why, not at all.
It's about Juanita. You know, my wife, Juanita's mother, died when Juanita was 4.
I know.
We were very much in love. Juanita can hardly remember her mother. Yet she has so many of the same mannerisms. A way of walking, of standing. It makes me catch my breath sometimes.
Yes.
Sometimes it's difficult to express a sentiment to your own flesh and blood. I can tell you, but I can't tell her how much she means to me.
I understand.
I won't say my life hasn't been a lonely one, but I've had my work and the happiness of seeing my daughter grow up.
You never thought of marrying again?
Once, some years ago, but I wasn't sure it would be good for Juanita.
I see.
You know, Juanita's in love with you.
She fell in love with you in a way when you first came to Mexico years ago.
But she was only a child.
She feels the same today, and she's not a child any longer. I have an idea you're not indifferent to her.
I love her dearly.
Enough to marry her?
She's so young.
Her mother was only a year older when we were married.
Well, it may be no more than an infatuation. She's not really old enough to know her own mind.
Juanita won't change. She's like her mother. Where her heart is fixed, there it remains. You're surprised that a father should make such a proposal for his daughter. Above all, a Mexican father. It's just that I'm worried about Juanita.
Oh, I understand that.
She's high-strung, moody, impulsive.
Gay and sad by turns.
I know that's part of growing up, but it troubles me. The business with the Jaguar. I don't put any stock in Alfred's speculations. It's just that Juanita's emotionally a little unstable. A marriage would be good for her. It would be a steadying influence. And later on, with children of her own, what I'm trying to say is, if it were you, I should be happy.
Well, there's something I haven't told you, Manuel.
Another girl?
No, not that.
Well, then,
I'm going away to Korea.
as a soldier?
Nothing so heroic. As a reporter.
How long will you be gone?
Well, I'm not optimistic about the situation. It could run on for quite a while.
You couldn't take her with you?
I'm afraid not. But when it's over, I'll get another assignment in Mexico. Juanita will be older. It may be better in any case. She'll probably meet some handsome boy at the university and fall in love in the meantime.
I don't think that's likely. Tell us, Juanita, will you wait for Terry to come back from Korea? If I didn't know you, if I didn't know him, when a child has no mother, it's not your fault. I don't blame you, only myself.
Forgive me, Father.
Get on my back. I'll carry you to your bed. We can't have you walking in your bare feet. The place is alive with scorpions. Suppose you stepped on one. Can't see what's funny about that. You won't be leaving immediately.
I have several days, maybe a week. We'll have time to talk.
Good night, then.
Good night. Good night, Juanita.
Buenas noches, mi vida. Will he come back, Father?
Yes, he'll come back.
Okay, Pedro!
Alto, Pedro! How's it going, Manuel?
Fine.
Where's Juanita?
I think you'll find her at the cenote. Okay, Pedro! What are you doing over here all by yourself?
I like it here. I am alone and I can sing. I sing out loud and no one can hear me, except the parakeets and the iguanas. There's one over here listening.
You look downright Darwinian. You ought to be extinct like the dinosaur and the pterodactyl.
I think they're sweet. I'd like one for a pet.
The neighbors might object. Why do you sing so loud? I thought that sort of thing was reserved for extroverts in shower baths.
You know what I'm doing?
No, what are you doing?
I'm making you breakfast while you sing in the shower.
What am I having for breakfast?
Orange juice, cantaloupe, bacon and eggs, hot cakes, waffles, sausages, toast and coffee.
No kipper? You're starving me. This cenote is spooky.
It's just a pool of water. Cenote is the word for well.
It was a sacred well. You know what they use it for?
They threw virgins into it to appease the rain god.
That doesn't disturb you?
Why should it?
Oh, so you're willing to be sacrificed to the rain god, but you're terrified of the jaguar.
Yes. I've written a poem for you. Because you're going away. It's called Parting.
When shall we meet? Like days of sun and rain. Sad joy and joyous pain. Against my heart's dull beat.
What song is that?
La pena y la que no es pena y llorona, todo es pena para mí. La pena y la que no es pena y llorona, todo es pena para mí. Ayer lloraba por verte, ay llorona, yo lloro porque te vi. Ay de mi llorona, llorona, llorona de azul celeste. Ay de mi llorona, llorona, llorona de azul celeste. Aunque la vida me cueste, ay llorona, no dejaré de quererte.
That's a beautiful song. I want to learn it. Elena's soup is waiting. Come on.
Don't look, Juanita. Don't look. When the broken body of his friend had been taken away, the professor asked me to return with him to the scene of the tragedy. I observed then, for the first time, something extraordinary which had escaped me before. A jaguar with a human heart in its claw was carved on the monumental stone.
Our reason tells us it's a coincidence, this jaguar on the stone that killed my friend.
You don't think so?
We take refuge in a word to escape from a monstrous reality.
You seriously believe that supernatural forces had something to do with this accident?
There are no coincidences and no accidents. I loved Manuel. I saw him every day for 20 years, and he kept my feet on the ground even when my head was in the clouds. But if he'd listened to my fantasies, as he called them, this need never have happened, and I might still have my friend.
How could he have listened, or any reasonable man for that matter?
Manuel was not killed by the stone that crushed him. The stone was the instrument of a deeper purpose, What purpose? Manuel was killed by the disease of our time, which believes in flying saucers and has no faith. A world without faith and without humility will surely perish, as my friend did, from the presumption with which the gods inspire those they wish to destroy.
These are strange words coming from a scientist.
The deeper that science probes, the more mysterious life becomes. Even the scientists are returning to the mystic philosophies, like those of India, which have something in common with the beliefs of ancient Mexico. The Mayans, too, believed in the soul, in reincarnation.
You sound as if you believed in it.
I do.
Alfred wants to say something to you, Juanita.
It's something we've talked about, Elena and I. Your father was my friend for so many years. Your mother was the friend of both of us even before you were born. We had such wonderful times together, your parents, Elena and I. And now you're alone. Elena and I have no children. We want you to feel that you're our daughter now, just as if you really were our daughter. It would make us so happy if you would agree to this.
When we get to Mexico City, I'll cook you a bowl of wonderful hot soup. Now you are crying, and that's good.
If I had not gone to Korea, if I had yielded to the impulse to marry Juanita when she was alone and might have needed me, perhaps the death of Manuel would not have had so violent a sequel. But it did not occur to me that Juanita would be anything but safe with the professor and his wife. During my absence, the University of Mexico had acquired a beautiful new home, where the professor was now lecturing. I had the exciting experience of driving through University City, as it is known, on my way to the professor's house, which was nearby. The unique architectural genius of Mexico, both ancient and modern, had expressed itself dramatically in the design of this great new university. I was not at all prepared for the strange situation I found in. It was reassuring to see that Elena, at any rate, had not changed.
Have you been to the university? Have you seen Alfred?
Well, I went through on my way, but I didn't stop. I came straight here.
He may be in his museum. He's usually there in the afternoon when he isn't working on his book. His classes are in the morning.
He's well, then?
Oh, yes, quite well. Alfred! This is where he writes. He's almost finished his book.
Has he given it a title?
A History of Human Sacrifice. It represents his whole life's researches.
Isn't that the jaguar from the buried temple?
He persuaded the government to let him borrow it. Later on, it is going into the National Museum.
What does he want it for?
He's been fascinated by jaguars ever since Manuel was killed. You'll probably find him in the zoo right now at Chapultepec Park. He goes there in the afternoon when he isn't working on his book.
What does he do at the zoo?
It relaxes him, he says. And he has a friend there.
Not in a cage, I hope.
It is in a cage. Fortunately, it's a jaguar. Yes, he talks Mayan to it.
Sounds like he's going out of his mind.
Sometimes, I think so. He says it's not an ordinary jaguar. It's the living incarnation of the jaguar god in that stone idol.
Oh, he's joking, of course.
I've been married to Alfred for almost 30 years, and I'm not sure yet when he's joking and when he's serious. Come and see Juanita.
Isn't she at the university?
She's in her room, in bed.
Is she ill?
She's better now, but sometimes she's too weak to get up and go to her classes.
What is it? What's wrong?
The doctors don't know. They can't find anything wrong. Alfred has a theory about it.
Surprise me if he hasn't. What does he think it is?
Loss of soul sickness.
Loss of soul sickness? What on earth is that?
It's described in the books of the ancient Indians. They believed you could lose your soul from fright, or someone could steal it from you. Some ghost in need of a soul or a queer beast.
From fright?
Yes, Alfred thinks it happened when she was so frightened of the jaguar in the buried temple. It's a lingering disease. You don't die of it.
The books say how you can get your soul back again?
Juanita! You can get your soul back if you conjure up the ghost of the queer beast and destroy it. Evil must be brought into the open, Alfred says. It's a way of facing reality instead of running away from it.
Kind of magical psychoanalysis, apparently.
Está Balam, Francisco?
Tranquilo, muy tranquilo.
Tardes, mi cuarto. Coge el macheco a Balam. Momentito, Balam, por favor. Con su permiso.
You're back at last, Ted.
Elena told me I might find you here.
Made our daughter well again.
I want to ride the train. I remember the thrill I once had ringing that bell.
I'm in love with this place.
Oh, it's enchanting.
I come here so often I believe the animals recognize me. At least there's one that does. I want you to meet him.
It's a pity, though, they have to be in cages.
Aren't we all? We're in the revolving squirrel cage of our inheritance. The Wheel of Destiny, as they call it in India. From which only a divine aspiration can set us free at last.
You haven't changed, I see.
Yes, but the animals are in real cages. I'm sorry for them. Do they mind terribly, do you think?
There's one that does. Balam doesn't like his cage.
Balam?
It's the Mayan word for a jaguar.
You don't suppose he'll upset you, Juanita?
I don't think so.
Well, I know how you used to feel about jaguars.
They used to worship him, make sacrifices to him, and now he's shut up in a cage. It's humiliating, and he doesn't like it.
Well, he has to be caged to kill, I imagine.
Yes, because he's evil. He's the demon of darkness. You know, he swallowed the sun 4 times and brought dreadful calamities to the world until the plumed serpent Kukulkan, the great good god, shut him up like Lucifer in the pit of hell. Here he is. He seems to know you, Juanita.
Don't be upset, he can't get out.
Well, we can be glad that one's in a cage.
I've never known him behave like that before. Can't think what's possessed him. Come on, my car's right outside.
Alfred's working. I won't disturb him.
He's been in good spirits since the day you arrived. But Juanita, it's no wonder she's awake. She's hardly eaten a thing for days.
There's strength in those hands.
She's always been musical since she was a child. But I don't know how she stays alive. She doesn't even taste my soup. I have to eat it all myself. Would you like some?
No, I've had dinner.
I'm worried about Alfred, too.
What's wrong with Alfred?
He goes out somewhere by himself late at night. Last night, he didn't get in until 3 o'clock. He wouldn't tell me where he'd been. You don't think there is another woman?
Oh, I shouldn't think so.
What do you suppose he's up to, prowling around in the middle of the night?
He's probably having an affair with a night-blooming Sirius.
What's that?
It's a flower that blooms late at night, one night a year. It takes some watching or you'll miss it.
He's never been interested in botany.
Well, it's something innocent and scientific, you can be sure of that.
Then why does he keep it a secret? Why doesn't he tell me about it?
Because it's more fun to keep you guessing, I imagine. Look at me. Or you're dramatizing it, darling, beyond all reason.
I can't get it out of my mind.
Go dancing with me tonight. No place elegant. We'll dance with our hair down and our shoes off.
Can you dance a tempo?
No, but I'm willing to learn. We'll see if we can't get your mind out of this groove it's caught in. Juanita loved to dance. She seemed happy at last, her frightening experience with a jaguar forgotten. It was as if she and I alone were alive, and all the others no more than ghostly figures. Doubts fell away. I knew that I wanted more than anything else to keep her as happy always as she was at this moment.
It's peaceful here.
Yes.
I've been happy tonight. So happy.
I love you, Juanita.
I wanted so much to hear you say that.
It isn't easy to say it.
I know. What is it?
Will you marry me?
It's all I've ever wanted.
Well, what's troubling you? You haven't changed your mind about me.
Only to love you more. And I didn't think that was possible.
Well, then.
This illness I have. Even the doctor don't understand it. I've thought sometimes that I have no right to marry. That I be a burden, a trouble. And I want to be a joy. Only a joy to you.
You know you are.
Don't say anything to Alfred or Elena. I have an intuition about it. Almost a premonition. I can't explain it. Be patient with me, darling. I'm so happy just knowing you love me.
I'll not say a word until you tell me. Alfred's working late tonight. Let's say goodnight to him.
Of course. He's not here. His car's gone.
But he left a light in the museum. he go at this hour of the night?
I can't imagine.
There's no sign of him.
I'm not sure he likes our coming here when he's away.
I wonder what he's up to.
It's not the first time. Elena worries about it.
I know. But he doesn't bother you anymore, does he, that old jaguar?
I've grown accustomed to it. I think perhaps my father, if he had lived.
Yes, there's no question, but the manual kept him from going overboard. Listen to this. It is easy for people who see the world die and renew itself year after year to transfer their observations to the soul and believe in reincarnation. It is a belief common to all religions in one form or another because it answers a universal need. The Greeks created for it the symbol of the phoenix, eternally born again from its own ashes. He's marked a passage here in Plato. The soul can wear out many bodies. What is it?
It's very strange.
Well, you might have posed for it.
It's Alfred.
Alfred? Well, Teddy, we saw your light and thought you were working. We dropped in to say goodnight.
Where have you children been at this hour?
We wondered the same thing about you.
We've been dancing.
I got something quite remarkable to show you. It's extraordinary, don't you think?
It could be a portrait.
There are some people in whom the past is alive, recreated in some curious and significant way, and I believe that Juanita's one of them. I'm glad you're here, Terry, because I want you to help me move the old jaguar so that he faces this ancient image of Juanita. They were contemporaries, no doubt of it. And the odd thing is they still are. They're both of them alive today.
The soul can wear out many bodies.
Plato said that.
Here.
You know your Plato so well?
I saw the passage you marked.
So I have no secrets from you.
On the contrary. Where do you go so late at night all by yourself?
I think I'll keep that secret.
Good night, Jerry. Good night, Alfred.
Good night, darling.
Juanita.
Thank you, Terry, for trying.
Come in here, will you, Terry? I need your help. A confrontation consummated after centuries. Give me a hand with him.
Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forests of the night, while immortal hand and eye frame thy fearful symmetry.
A magnificent poem. The most profound in the language. Perhaps in any language.
You're covering a lot of territory, aren't you?
Not without reason. To break the tiger was the eternal symbol of evil.
Did he who made the lamb make thee?
Exactly. When was the problem of evil more beautifully expressed? The soul of evil has its immortalities, whether imprisoned in idols or incarnate in cages. But one day it'll be free again, the tiger burning bright, to seek its unravished sacrifice, the incarnate maiden.
Juanita and the jaguar. And how is she to be delivered from the foul fiend?
By some unsung Perseus, some obscure St. George, armed with a naked spear of truth, as legendary and enchanted as King Arthur's Excalibur, and with a name perhaps no more heroic than Terry.
The resemblance, unfortunately, is less striking than that of Juanita to this old clay figure. But tell me, will the hero marry the maiden and take half the kingdom? And where is he to find a magic sword in this day and age?
An old wizard will give it to him. The jaguar is the demon that must be destroyed by each generation all over again. Because the world is no better than the individuals in it. To save the world, we must save ourselves.
Have you a practical suggestion?
The perennial jaguar is locked in the cage of our personality. The evil within us that devours our soul. We must let him out, face him, and conquer him before we can call our soul our own.
But when all the dragons are slain, what are we to do for heroes?
In Utopia, there are no heroes. There, that does it. Since you've been looking at my papers, perhaps you might care to come to the university on Wednesday to hear my lecture on human sacrifice. Juanita will be there.
Is it necessary for her to be there? Don't you think the subject might upset her?
Attendance is required of my students. I don't see how I can make an exception in the case of Juanita, unless, of course, she's ill.
Well, if she feels well enough, I'll bring her.
I recovered anyway. May I bring a photographer?
Of course.
I made up my mind to follow the professor and discover, if I could, what he was up to at such an hour and in such secrecy. I had lost sight of him while circling one of Mexico City's glorietas, but it was already apparent to me that he was on his way to Chapultepec Park. I knew then where I ought to look for him.
Buenas noches, madame.
He had secured a key to the gate and the wire fence surrounding the cage. The thought moved like a ghost through my mind that he might be able then to obtain a key to the cage itself. A chill of premonition shivered through me. I tried to tell myself that my fears were fantastic, but I made a resolution to take Juanita away as soon as I could from this oppressive atmosphere.
What would you do if I were to let you out? Where would you go?
It was later than I thought.
The Carthaginians fed their firstborn to the hungry deity Moloch. The innocent victims, placed on the sloping arms of this brass idol, rolled down into the blazing belly of the god, whose powers were doubtless sufficiently restored by this nourishment to repel the enemies of the city and win new conquests for mighty Carthage. The Cretan monster, known as the Minotaur, inhabited a labyrinth and was regaled by periodical sacrifices of Athenian youths and maidens, until the hero Theseus, the original matador, destroyed the beast and put an end to the tribute. The legend obviously derives from an ancient practice of human sacrifice to an animal divinity. The practice of human sacrifice died hard amongst the ancient Hebrews. Jehovah demanded the sacrifice of Abraham's only son, Isaac, as a burnt offering. But that story, as we all know, had a happy ending. Once the piety of the patriarch had been adequately demonstrated by his willingness to give his son to the Lord, Jehovah allowed a ram to be burnt in his stead. This is a reference to the transition which took place in most early religions between human and animal sacrifice. The gladiatorial contests of imperial Rome were a survival of an ancient form of sacrifice in which the victim was allowed to defend himself against hopeless odds. No doubt it was some satisfaction to these brave men to die fighting. In Western Europe, the Druids put cattle, sheep, chickens, and human beings into gigantic wicker images, which were then burned with their living contents. I've made no reference to Africa, New Guinea, Australia, or the islands of the South Seas, where ritual cannibalism was widely practiced. The most systematic use of human sacrifice was, as we have seen, not in primitive, but in highly developed cultures. Practice, however, dates back to the darkest antiquity. This stylized human frame, which I've borrowed from the National Museum, comes from New Guinea. The body was designed to hold, in the socket of the neck, the skull of a human sacrifice. The skull which you see is that of a veritable victim. It's reasonable to assume that the art of sculpture originated from its functional use in such magical ceremonies. The rites included chanting, percussive music, and dancing, together with oral invocations, and so led in time to the invention of the other arts as attributes of ceremonial magic. Perhaps that's why today, when we see a work of art, we say it casts a spell over us. This is not a figure of speech, but a statement of fact. Human sacrifice was inspired by the most profound of hopes and fears, the underlying principle being that individuals should give their lives for the benefit of the whole community. In this sense, the death of a soldier in modern warfare may be considered sacrificial. Perhaps, in a more enlightened future, the bloody wars of so-called civilized nations will be looked upon with the same incredulous revulsion with which we today regard the ritual sacrifices performed by so-called primitive peoples. The practice of capital punishment, still unfortunately prevalent in much of the civilized world, is the survival of human sacrifice. Even though in this case, the goddess of justice takes the place of a less abstract divinity. From the rudest and most barbaric origins, the most sublime developments are possible. Jesus suffered on the cross in order to take upon himself the sins of mankind. He died for all of us, and by his voluntary agony on Calvary redeemed the world. In the ceremony of the communion, and in the symbolism of the host and the chalice, we may see the ultimate apotheosis and sublimation of all the vain gropings and aspirations of man toward divinity. From that pinnacle of holy love and charity, we may look back without despair on the long history of human cruelty. I've spoken of the practice of human sacrifice by nearly every ancient race and religion in order to avoid any feeling of self-righteousness over its use here in Mexico, where it reached its extreme expression among the Aztecs 5 centuries ago. The art of pre-conquest Mexico was as magnificent and inventive as any the world has seen, not excepting that of Egypt, Greece, India, China, and Western Europe. Yet with it went this cruel ritual, creating a paradox of culture, not uniquely Mexican, but universal. All right, Carlos, start the Mexican slides. The gods of ancient Mexico demanded from mankind the most precious gift he had to offer, human life. And from the human body, they required the most vital organ, the heart. 4 priests held the victim spread-eagled over the sacrificial stone, while a 5th cut open the breast and ripped the living heart from the body, which was afterwards ceremonially burnt and offered to the god. The sacrifice took place at the summit of the pyramid in front of the temple, and from this high place, the body was afterwards thrown down before the assembled people. The odor of sacrifice was copal, still used in the manufacture of perfume. Urns such as this, discovered in the excavations at Monte Alban, were used for burning this incense. I have here one of the obsidian knives used at these rituals, which I myself discovered beside the image of a jaguar god to whom the sacrifice was made. The natural volcanic glass is as sharp as a steel blade. The calendar of the Aztecs called for monthly variations on this theme. There might be differences of detail. The victims might be men, women, or children. The dances, costume, and incantations might be varied to suit the nature of the god or the season. But the sacrifice culminated almost invariably in the same way. It was the living heart which the gods required and received. Do you mind coming up here a minute, Terry? I need your help with this costume. When Montezuma I, grandfather of the monarch who succumbed to Cortez, dedicated his great city of Tenochtitlan, now Mexico City, 20,000 victims were slaughtered in a single festival. The conquistadores who came from Spain with Cortez counted 60,000 sacrificial skulls at one time in the skull rack, which arose in a vast architectural cube of horror in the center of the main square of Montezuma's city. I'm now wearing a replica of the costume of a Chilan, or officiating priest at a sacrificial ceremony. Do you mind turning that light on me, Terry? Thank you. Some of you, I see, seem to be amused at this costume. You would be less so, I imagine, were it to cover the tattooed nakedness of a veritable priest presiding over your own immolation. The rites were not always performed on the platform of the pyramid. In one case, the sacrificial virgin was bound to 2 posts set up in the form of an X. This was the method used in an extraordinary sacrifice designed to propitiate the oldest of the Mexican divinities, the jaguar god. Juanita, I have another costume here, or part of one, that I'd like to show to our friends. A girl's costume. I also have a sample of the jewelry worn by the victim of this ritual. Would you mind putting them on for us?
That might not be such a good idea. As you know, she hasn't been well.
It's only for a moment. Do you feel up to it, Juanita?
Of course.
My foster daughter is of pure Indian ancestry and will make an excellent model for these sacrificial accessories. I shall not paint her face blue as her ancestors did. I think I can spare you that, Juanita. The post was set up in the jungle at a place where a live jaguar was known to have his lair. The ceremony took place at night by torchlight. The girl was painted, dressed, and bound to the cross to await the arrival of her bridegroom, the living incarnation of the jaguar god. You will observe that Juanita's dress resembles that worn by the Maya girl being sacrificed in this illustration. The Chilam shouted his invocation, summoning the jaguar, leading his attendant priests at the same time in a dance around the girl. The dance was accompanied by choral chanting and an insistent, hypnotic, percussive music beaten out on drums and gourds, mingled with the shrill sound of flutes. At the conclusion of the dance, the priests withdrew to a safe distance in order not to bring upon themselves the dangerous attention of the living god, and the girl was left alone to face the jaguar. Beaters deployed around the place of sacrifice began to strike about with sticks, shouting and yelling to frighten the beasts of the jungle, driving them towards the helpless girl. Gliding and crawling things swarmed about her in sheets of hurried movement. The snakes, the iguanas, the lizards, the toads, and a multitude of small vermin. After them came the running animals, the weasels, rabbits, rats, and wild pigs, and the larger beasts, the deer and the coyotes. They did not molest her, but moved past swiftly in a panic to escape the advancing beaters. Suddenly the shouting stopped, and a fearful silence fell upon the jungle. The jaguar had appeared. The jaguar does not attack directly, but stalks its prey in narrowing circles. She could see the burning eyes moving around her. The people waited in breathless silence. They too could follow the advance of the god incarnate as they believed him to be. To be alarmed. She'll be perfectly all right in a minute. Hello, Terry. What's all this about?
I've searched the books. Your books. There was no such sacrifice. You made it up.
Well, at least you're getting a good education. And anyhow, you're wrong. I've synthesized it from authentic detail. And I can give you chapter and verse for the crossed beams and the animal beaters.
But why did you synthesize it? Why did you deliberately try to scare her out of her wits?
Well, the idea isn't exactly new or original. I got it from Hamlet, play within a play. Hamlet wanted to find out what the king would do when he saw his crime reenacted. So if you insist, I staged a small play.
Well, what did you expect to prove by that grotesque performance?
Do you mean you're not convinced? Not even yet?
I don't even know what I'm supposed to be convinced of.
You've forgotten how frightened she was of him, of the jaguar dancers at the fiesta. You remember how her father died? And you saw what happened in the zoo, and those spells she has which the doctors can't diagnose. Do you suppose all this is pure coincidence?
There's a natural explanation for all of it.
And her reaction to my description of the sacrifice, was that natural too?
It would have been unnatural if she hadn't fainted after the act you put on. Who do you suppose would be impressed by your demonstration? Your colleagues at the university? They'd think you were out of your mind.
I've convinced myself. Now I'll find a way to convince them. And you too.
I'll not have Juanita subjected to any more of these gruesome experiments.
You're wrong, Terry. She's a sick girl. Her illness goes deeper than you think. There's only one way to save her, a desperate and dangerous way, but the only one.
If she has a disease, you invented it. Anyhow, Alfred, Juanita didn't want me to tell you, but you may as well know. We're going to be married.
I haven't much time then.
Time for what?
Oh, my experiments, of course. The gods demand maidens for their sacrifices. But seriously, I'm delighted, Terry. It was what he'd have wished, Juanita's father, and Elena will be very happy too. She'll be busy with the wedding dress and 1,001 things. We must have a church wedding and all that goes with it. This calls for a drink. Quiet, you beasts and birds. You think you are all gods? They may be after all. The Egyptians had 73 animal divinities. There was a time when I could name them. It's for you, Juanita, my darling. If I'm wrong, may heaven forgive me. Voila. She's waiting, Balaam.
Ingratitude is not exclusively a human attribute. It belongs to divinity as well. The incarnate jaguar god had a curious reward for his benefactor, who came to free him from a humiliating imprisonment.
know your way, Balam.
It was at about the time the professor opened the cage. Perhaps it was at that moment precisely. Juanita was awakened by the sound of a strange commotion coming from the darkness of the professor's museum across the garden. The noises were mysterious, ghostly, as if they belonged to another world. It was as if a tiger had somehow materialized in the museum and as if it were trying to break out. Growls and roars were mingled with the crash of clay figures falling and shattering, and with the dull blows of a heavy object striking against the walls. But there was no light in the museum, and Elena had seen the professor leave half an hour before. They thought of calling the police, but Elena was afraid of involving her husband. I told them to stay in the house and to do nothing until I got there.
Hurry, Jerry, hurry.
By what strange influence did the professor succeed in drawing a wild jaguar through the empty streets to University City? Was it by the force of his intense resolution, his will, as it is called? Or did the beast, suspicious of his liberty, find assurance in the proximity of a form familiar to him? The professor would not have accepted so rational an explanation. The idea that the jaguar, a demon incarnate, was aware of his gold and of the road to it would not appear to him as it did to me, monstrous, unnatural, beyond reason. The soul of evil has also, he once said to me, a corporeal immortality, imprisoned though it may be for centuries in figured stone or incarnate in cages, until one day it is liberated like a beast of the apocalypse. By what miracle of memory do fish find their way to the distant and obscure streams of their nativity, to spawn where they were spawned? By what incredible navigation do birds arrive at far havens over seas and continents? We are prepared to accept these common miracles, but how are we to believe that a savage jungle beast out of his cage in a zoo traversed a city to a predictable goal? The professor, steeped in ancient superstitions, drew no sharp lines between the real and the magical. I prefer to believe that he was able, by alternately leading and following, to coax the jaguar to his destination.
is a light on now in the museum. Do you think someone... Juanita?
Not for myself only, not only for Juanita. The concentrated force of evil was attacking me. I fought with a sense of enormous, almost unbearable responsibility, sustained by a strength beyond myself. The struggle seemed immense, eternal, unreal, outside of time and place and the natural order of things. And in fact, so it may have been, if we are to understand the extraordinary revelation in store for me.
It stopped now, the noise in the museum.
dead, then?
Yes, he's dead.
Like that?
Yes, like that.
You're safe, Juanita, my darling. But I knew that, too.
How? How did you know?
There's nothing else in the place in one piece. You should have seen her shaking as I did. I thought she'd fall and break, but she didn't. When the old demon gave up, I knew you'd killed him and she was safe.
My help comes from the mountains.
It was a desperate measure, but it succeeded. She can call her soul her own. You'll be as happy with her as I've been with Elena. Wait, Elena. Wait. Don't move anything in here. Get your camera and take pictures. Promise me you'll do that, Terry. They'll never believe it otherwise. Not even if you swear to it.
I'll do it, I promise.
Write the story now while it's fresh in your mind. Publish it with the pictures.
I will.
Don't bother to explain anything. Nothing worth explaining can be explained. Let them do the explaining. Ask them how a stone sculpture moved all around this room, broke my walls and made a shambles of my ceramics collection. You laughed, mind more than you, when I said there was life in that old stone. They're ready to believe in any pseudo-scientific absurdity, but not in the soul. Nobody believes in the soul anymore. Give me a kiss, Elena, darling. Call a doctor if you want to. But it's a priest I need. I think I'm beyond doctors. I think I'm even beyond a bowl of your good hot soup.
When doctor and priest had done what they could for his body and his soul, I was permitted a last interview. He made me promise not to postpone the wedding. He would be there, he said, incorporeally. I had a curious feeling that he was. Juanita was so happy, so wonderfully happy. I've never seen anything so happy as Juanita's face. I made a mighty oath to keep it that way. I've written the story just as it happened. I have the photographs, too, if anyone wants to see them.